All right, what is going on, guys? Today we are back with another rise of one of these horror creators, which I talked about and listed all of them in the reemergence of the horror community. So if you haven't seen that video, you should probably go check that one out before this one. This will just be a little bit of a deeper dive into, this time, Fascinating Horror. Now, this is one of the channels that I put on that list in that video just by myself. A lot of the other ones I got from comment suggestions from people. However, this one was a channel that I personally watch and I personally really enjoy, that I feel is kind of one of the newer horror creators and brings something a little different and a little special to the table in their own way. So to kick off this video, Fascinating Horror, the channel was started January 17th of 2019. And in that time period, it has amassed just about 85 million views. And so, you know, that's pretty cool, especially considering this channel has only uploaded, I think, 101 videos. And just to put that into perspective, I myself have uploaded probably within the range of like 120 to 140. I don't know exactly, but, you know, somewhere in that range. So to see a channel like this grow so quickly with so few videos, that really does show just how good the content really is. And it's really sort of like something I don't think I've ever really seen on YouTube before, because all of his videos follow a format of staying generally under like 15, maybe 20 minutes at the max, but most of them are like 10, 15, or even below that. So it's like really short, but there's a ton of information in them, because they really are, as he puts them, short documentaries. They're like, it's really respectful storytelling. It's not trying to be overly creepy or too creepy or try and like lead you down this rabbit hole. It really is just like a good recounting of a disaster or some other horrific event that, you know, happened recently, or like the history of something that ended in a tragic way or something like that. So it's really interesting to see something like that, because I don't think that that's something that's done very often in the horror community. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of discussion over disasters and horrific events and stuff like that within the horror community. It's done over and over and over again by creator after creator. But I think what's important to mention about Fascinating Horror is just that short documentary kind of format, and also the storytelling in a really respectful light, not trying to overly make it scary or trying to make it overly scary, and just kind of stating the facts and letting what happened be the scary thing, not creating this alternative kind of story behind it that makes it, you know, sound or seem scarier than it maybe actually was. So Fascinating Horror started out, their first video was the Luna Park Ghost Train Fire. Now, I haven't specifically watched this one myself, but it's held up through the test of time. It's a little low on the view count. Most of the videos actually average around 1 million views. And like I said, they're just disaster-based content. So it's quite interesting. Obviously, there's a pretty good audience out there for it. And yeah, that's really it. They haven't been on YouTube for too long, and they've really stuck to their style. Fascinating Horror has really made the same videos the whole time. It's like a very consistent, reliable source for these kind of short horror disaster kind of documentaries. And I really enjoy them. If I'm, you know, say studying or trying to do something else, I will often put these videos on in the background, and I'll watch like, I don't know, 5, 10, sometimes depending on how much stuff I'm doing at the time. I'll just listen to like 5 or 10 of them, and they're really good. I feel like I learn a lot about the events, actually. And that's something that you can't really say for a lot of horror creators. Not that there's anything wrong with, you know, that whole storytelling kind of aspect to the horror community or anything like that. But I really do like the just facts, the kind of the raw facts coming at you with like a unbiased kind of narrator. So that's one of the things that I really like about Fascinating Horror personally. But obviously, if you're like a diehard horror fan and just want something really creepy or really weird or like some horrific event, trust me, you will find those too if you look through the channel. So I don't know. This one might be a little short for these just because there isn't really too much that's happened so far because of how new the channel kind of is, and just how, tried and true Fascinating Horror has been with sticking to their kind of original video format, not really changing it up too much, which some people could see that as a bad thing. But like I said before, I do really appreciate the sticking to what they originally set out to do. So if Fascinating Horror sounds interesting to you, make sure you go check them out. I promise you, it's a really interesting channel. They're still under 1 million subscribers, but they're going to get there soon. So, let's try and see if they can make it to 1 million subscribers soon. I would really like to see that. And I think it really cements them in the range of these new like people who are bringing that reemergence to the horror community. It's something different. It's something new. It's something that not every horror creator has done to the point where it's just boring. It's something that I can listen and I can find stories that I've never heard before on YouTube about disasters that are just so out there that I would have never even known that it was a disaster had I not seen the video from Fascinating Horror. So, like I said before, really great channel. Make sure you go check it out and subscribe. As always, have a wonderful day. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We're trying to get 500 by the end of the year. I know this one was short, especially in comparison to the Nightmare Files one and, other videos where I've talked about horror creators or just other videos in general, since I typically try and hit that like 15 mark somewhere around there. And this is like going to be 7 or 8, but there's just not too much to say. It's just a good channel and it's, contributing to more people, I think, coming back into the horror community or just coming into it in general, because even from a historical standpoint, this channel is quite good. So, yeah, with that being said, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. Go check out Fascinating Horror. I do really recommend their videos. They're quite good. And have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.